one of my favorite villains of the X-Men universe. Today, on today's Toy Spot, we're going to be looking at the Sentinel Series Marvel Legends Mr. Sinister. Oh, baby. Mr. Sinister comes with the right leg of the Sentinel, for those who are building and collecting the Sentinel pieces. If we have a look at the packaging here. Same packaging as the rest of the characters in the wave, and actually most of the Marvel Legends from Toybiz. So we have the blue at the top there, although this part would vary. You have Sentinel Series up the top corner there. Fully posable with 40 points of articulation on this character. On this awesome figure. I got the Marvel Legends down below there. On the back, we get his technical specs up at the top corner there. As you can see, his durability and his intelligence is rather high. His height is 6'3", his weight is 255 pounds, eyes red, hair black. It's a bit of a read up here. Victorian-era scientist obsessed with evolution in all its forms, Nathaniel Essex allowed the immortal warlord known as Apocalypse to augment his body and strip him of his humanity. Now he is Mr. Sinister, a master manipulator and expert geneticist. Ooh, I'm doing these reviews way too early in the morning. Working to create the most powerful mutant the world has ever seen. A brilliant biologist and geneticist. Oh my god. Mr. Sinister, I'm just going to skip that word. Mr. Sinister is also immortal, granting him a unique perspective on human evolution. Sinister can manipulate his molecular structure, thus altering his appearance and shape. Also, he possesses superhuman strength and accelerated healing factor. That's probably the worst read-up I have read so far in all my reviews. Characters in the wave, however. We get Cyclops, we have the first appearance of Spider-Man. We have Mystique, Omega Red, personal favorite is, I love Omega Red, Black Panther, Mr. Sinister, and Angel. There was only two variants in the wave, the Cyclops here, which I think my light's shining too much on here, but the other character, or the other variant, was a X-Factor Cyclops, and there was also a blue costumed Angel. I don't have either variant, so unfortunately I won't be able to do reviews of those or show you guys. But there's the other figures in the Sentinel Build-A-Figure wave. And there you have the packaging. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open this guy up, and we will get a closer look at the ever-cool Mr. Sinister, so stay tuned. And there's that big boot. And if we look up, way up, there's nothing there. Nothing. All you're getting is a boot. But needless to say, we'll move these guys aside, and the character out of the package. Here we have the ever cool Mr. Sinister, although his collar is a bit wonky there. I absolutely love this figure. I know I already mentioned that at the time I opened up the packaging, but definitely one of my favorite X-Men villains. There's just something about Mr. Sinister, and I don't know what it is. I think it's just his face, perhaps. Is it maybe just his face? But there's something about his face that I just find awesome. I just absolutely love this figure. And I love this figure, I love this character, Mr. Sinister. Great likeness on the character. It definitely does look like Mr. Sinister. Pan around there. He's got the really nice cape. I wouldn't really even call it cape, it's kind of just like strands. But definitely, I mean, that's Mr. Sinister for you. He's got the very unique cape there. In the way of articulation, he has articulation in the head. What I thought was, oh, there we go. I was going to say I thought it was just a swivel, but it is a ball joint. For some reason, the collar just doesn't want to work for me on this guy. There we go. He has articulation in the shoulders, articulation in the elbow, and the hand. I have to actually point out as well that he has individual articulation in the fingers. That is how cool Mr. Sinister is. So much so that they've given him individual articulation. He has articulation in the torso, although not too much. articulation in the waist. He's got articulation in the legs, the knees, in the foot, and also in the toe. Very cool figure. I wouldn't be surprised if I say very cool several times during this video. But definitely one of my favorites, that's for sure. I think of all the Marvel Legends, I would probably put, and for now he doesn't want to stand for me. For all the Marvel Legends, I think in the sets that I have, I'd probably say one of my favorites is definitely Mr. Sinister. The other one being Omega Red. I mean, I absolutely love those figures, and there's other ones I like too, but I'll get into them as I review them. But I definitely can't say enough good things about the Mr. Sinister here. Although the only thing I really don't like is the collar. For some reason the collar just doesn't want to... It keeps wanting to go in for me. I'm going to have to maybe fix that or do something different with it. I also like the collar. I think the collar is really nice on the figure. His accessories, as I alluded to earlier, is you get the right foot or the right leg of the Sentinel in all his many clicks and gloriousness. He also does come with a stand, which is predominant with most of the Marvel Legends, which is really nice because the later series really didn't give you much in the way of stands. At least I don't think they do. But I mean, the stand pegs in as usual, and you can have the character levitating if you wish. I probably wouldn't put Mr. Sinister levitating though. I mean, he's so cool. You just have to put him there and say, hey, who are you? I'm Mr. Sinister, and that's all she wrote. But definitely one of my favorites. I would say of the wave, you definitely want to pick up this guy, and you want to pick up the Omega Red. But there you have a toy spot on Mr. Sinister. Very cool. And with that, I'll catch you guys next time.